Hello and welcome to the Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piwowarski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most from the co-host with the most here on the Rundown. 2A views, conservative news, and Craig, guess what day it is?
I almost picked the wrong day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
It's hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
That's right, folks. Today is Hump Day. This is the day in which we attempt to begin the weekend, sometimes with success, sometimes not, but the fun is always in the trying. And you know, Mike, because we didn't do a show yesterday, I was all ready for Taco Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Me too. And I didn't realize it was dress-up day today either, Craig. If it was, I'd have worn pants.
Well, you know, first of all, we all know that you don't wear pants. That's just, I mean, unless you are wearing your dress uniform, you don't do pants. All that having been said, being a political candidate these days, I kind of have to look a little bit more presentable in public.
What about the senator from Pennsylvania?
Yeah, well, you know, if we were in Pennsylvania, that might work. But if I were a Democrat in Pennsylvania, that would work. But I'm not, so it ain't.
Yep. You could just wear your old shorts and a hoodie and never show up and vote.
Pretty much. Oh, you forgot that, you have to treat English like it is a second language.
Yes, and gibberish is the first language. Yes.
Good stuff. How was your hump day going thus far?
So far, so good. Although I'm still completely dumbfounded by tire care centers. If you try and get tire care done, evidently now you have to schedule that 6 weeks in advance. So,
yeah, it is just getting the problem is that the more and more technology we're getting, and they have these. I think part of the issue is they have these systems where this computer system where they believe like they can track their inventory really so well, but not. They don't.
Listen, there's every time I go in and I'll stop by, I'll be like, oh, it's time for a rotating balance. I'm going to go see, because there's only 2 bays full and there's 8 guys working there. Let's see what happens. And you go in there like, nope, we can't schedule you for a week. So I was just finally like, screw it. I'm going to the Spanish part of town. Those guys do it for $5 in 10 minutes. So.
10 minutes. That's all it takes. They don't even put it up on a jack thing, and they just put a jack out there.
They do. Yeah, that's what they do. They roll them out to the road. They roll out to the road. You're like,
right.
Oh, wait, that's not my car. Hold on.
Oh, good stuff. All right, Mike, let's get into it. But before we do, why don't we go ahead and give a quick shout out to our sponsors?
Let's do it. Let's say hi to Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net, hitmanindustries.net. You got yourself an AR in the past 5 years. You probably got one of their barrels and don't even know it. Well, now you can buy from the factory direct and get yourself a new barrel for your AR build or for your next AR project. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. Pay special attention to the California 6th congressional race. If you want the best in concealment holsters, tactical holsters out there, check out our friends at Hog Holsters. That's HAWG holsters.com, HAWG holsters.com. Mention the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you want some awesome field gear, going to the woods gear, hiking gear, fishing gear, whatever it happens to be, outdoor clothing, check out our friends at uscombatgear.com.
You know, Mike, I thought about something. I thought of a little addition to the little CRA moniker we had. Like, it become a part of California's future today. Become a member of CRA.
Oh, I like that. It should take me about a month to get it fixed in there. I'll change my spiel. So I'll work on it.
Okay. That's the thing we do, folks. We're going to come up with little sayings and jingles for each one of our advertisers. So if you're looking for someone to promote your product, good or service, hey, give us a holler. All you got to do is DM us. But these are our sponsors. Yeah. They are all good people, all good, solid, patriotic Americans. Check them out by going to the links Go to the description section in this for this program, and you'll see the links to their websites. Check them out, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them that it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you.
Yep. Every time you say, go to the links, my brain goes to city buses, because in Central Florida, the bus system is known as the links.
Oh,
It connects from one place to the other, and it's got a little cat on the side of it. So every time you say that, I'm like, why do I have to get on a bus to go to the computer?
why do you have to get on a bus to go check it, to go check out CRA? Yeah, no, you don't. But good stuff, though. Good stuff. Well, maybe it's easier to catch the bus, or better to catch the bus to the Democrat part of town.
Yeah, I hear the Wi-Fi is great on the buses, by the way.
All right, moving right along. Let's get into today's topics. We're going to start off with this interesting thing is you have gun control Democrats. Now, keep in mind, Democrats are the ones who are always saying, look, we need to make sure that, we pass all these gun laws in order to keep people in line. And, we need to go after these gun owners because they're going crazy and they're killing, well, according to them, the only real people that are killing anybody are, white cops killing young black men. But that's a whole nother thing. Anyway, but they're always pushing these gun control laws and enforcing gun control laws. But the funny part is, when it comes to their own guy, Mr. Hunter Biden, Mike, the Democrats tend to be quite silent. Here it says, this is from Fox News reporting, prominent gun control Democrats and advocacy groups are keeping quiet after the president's scandal-plagued son, Hunter Biden, was charged with a gun felony Tuesday. U.S. Attorney for Delaware, David Weiss, announced that President Biden's son agreed to enter a pretrial diversion agreement regarding a felony charge of possession of a firearm by a person who is an unlawful user or addicted to a controlled substance. He will also plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor counts of willful failure to pay federal income tax, and federal prosecutors are recommending probation. Now, Mike, maybe it is just me, but I'm looking at this and I'm like, I'm sorry. You cannot, there's absolutely no way you can seriously look me in the face and say that you believe in gun control when here you have a guy who is basically, this guy should be doing jail time. If not for the gun crime, not paying $1.2 million in taxes. And we, by the way, will forget, what did he do to earn enough money to owe $1.2 million in taxes?
Oh, listen, you don't have to have a skill to have a job, right? We know that. But the real story is he got the money because of whose son he is, right? Because it was access to the big guy. That's why people gave him money. This is a joke, Craig. Obviously they had to do something, right? They had to do something because they couldn't just let Hunter go for free. They couldn't charge him with the actual crimes. They had to plead this down to nothing. Meanwhile, you got raids on Donald Trump's house because he's doing things that are perfectly legal for a former president to have done. But this is how we go after it. As far as the Democrats ignoring what's going on, Craig, did you ever watch the TV show Suits when it was on? There was a lawyer character on there named Lewis Litt, and he was the perfect in deflection. If somebody asked him a question that he didn't want to answer, they would be like, "Mr. Litt, what about Hunter Biden being charged with these crimes?" He would just go, "Is that my phone? Is my phone ringing? Hold on, I gotta get my phone." He would just wander away. He had a deflection every time for things he didn't want to answer, and that's what the Democrats are doing here when asked what's going on with Hunter Biden here. What do you think about that? They're all like, "Oh, look at the time. I got to go. Sorry about that."
Well, it makes you wonder, and I'll ask a guy who commented over on OpsLens, 2A for NY. I'm assuming that's 2A for New York. How do you feel about this? How do you feel that in a state like New York, you've got a prosecutor who's going after Donald Trump for 30 some odd counts of something that is not a crime, for covering up a crime, on using a form to cover up a crime that isn't even a crime, right? That's what they got going on there in New York. And yet and still, and then here in this case, you got a guy who clearly cheated on his taxes, who clearly committed a gun crime. And yet he's doing absolutely no time. And they're not even pretending like anything serious is going to ever happen to Hunter Biden.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised this even made the news, Craig, and this wasn't hidden like the last Hunter story, right? I'm surprised this just even made the news and they didn't do like the whole next month thing. They were like, oh yeah, no, Hunter got probation for that. We didn't tell you. I'm sorry, that's over with.
It's all bad stuff. Anyway, in any case, Democrat electeds, if you wonder why people are taking you less and less seriously, it's because of this. It's because of stuff like this. We know we cannot take you seriously.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It is definitely, this administration has definitely turned into the banana republic. You know, we go after the other party and we let our own party off scot-free.
Yeah. Well, although I will say this, I think Republicans actually have gone after Republicans. You look at Texas has actually sought to impeach their attorney general over some crimes that were violated over there. And that, once again, that's a Republican legislature, but it was a unanimous vote to seek impeachment. I mean, when Republicans do wrong, Republicans will hold their own accountable. I think the difference between, in particular, what their issue that many have with what's going on with Donald Trump, and why you have some Republicans who are saying he didn't do anything wrong. But even those who believe he did something wrong, most of them are saying, look, you just had Hillary Clinton do the same exact thing. You just had Joe Biden have stuff for decades, have classified documents for decades, and you didn't prosecute him. How in the world can you prosecute Donald Trump and have people not believe it is partisan?
You know who's probably at home kicking themselves all day and screaming at the top of their lungs? Former Senator Al Franken. He's the only Democrat that's ever been accused and forced out of anything. And it's a picture of him from when he was a comedian being funny, you know,
right.
and yet you have Hunter Biden and Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden and everybody else getting away with this nonsense. And Al Franken, the comedian, is the only one they've ever gone after.
Well, but now let's be clear. Now, let's check this out. This is the Hunter Biden. Now, you cannot tell me. You can, by the way, you know the images and the stuff that's on this laptop is way worse than this. This is just what he's getting away with. I mean, if the mainstream media would ever just go and pull and put all that stuff that's on the laptop out there, you know, actually do their jobs, there's no Joe Biden would not get elected to anything. He wouldn't even win his party's nomination.
That picture there looks like Hunter's got a little short barrel on him there. Little short barrel sidearm.
Yes, a little short barrel sidearm. And on that note, we'll move on to our next story. Trump and Dems attack Dems as, I said at communists. It should be as communists. And yeah, why wouldn't they? But anyway, New York, according to the New York Associated Press, you know, the folks that you and I both know, we all know are leftists. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get it in here so you can see the whole headline. Where are we at? There we go. And I just move you over here a little bit. Move you over there we go. All right, now here we go. So it says Trump and other Republicans conjure a familiar enemy in attacking Democrats as communists. Lashing out after his arraignment on federal charges last week, Donald Trump took aim at President Joe Biden and Democrats with language that seemed to evoke another era. He was being persecuted, he said, by Marxists and communists. Trump used the labels since he first appeared on the political scene, but it lately has become an omnipresent attack line that has been deployed by other Republicans. Now, I don't know that that's necessarily an attack or just calling it like you see it.
That's it. Calling it like you see it, right? Right. You can't tell the players without a scorecard, and the scorecard says the team's full of communists, you know, or what do they call them? Social communists now, or whatever the heck they're calling them.
Democratic socialists.
There you go. Democratic socialists. To me that it's odd because again, I believe they have these Democrat socialist ways, but they're trying to enact, again, banana republic style, legislature up there. You know, they're going after the opposing party. I mean, that is South American, that's Southeast Asian, that's what you see in the banana republics, going on. At least the communists were a little more organized in their manner, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, see, keep in mind, communism has never actually existed. Communism is, by definition, everybody owns everything. And the only place that I can think of that was originally attempted was, I think, when the original Pilgrims landed on Plymouth Rock, and that's what they tried to do, was make it so that, everybody worked, everybody put it all in together, nobody owned anything, and everybody kind of got took as they needed. Well, they nearly starved to death.
Yeah.
Because people were like, well, why should I? If he's not going to plant, or if he's not going to hunt, or if he's not going to build anything, why should I? If everybody's going to own it. So there was no incentive for people to actually get engaged. Well, eventually what they did was they started assigning people or giving people plots of land, made them responsible for growing their own food, for building their own homes and huts and homes and everything. And eventually Plymouth Rock would start to flourish. Funny how that works, huh?
It's weird. You've got to have a product of your own to trade with other people's to get more,
It's called human nature.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they seem to be deathly afraid of human nature. They seem to not be interested at all in Democrats always like I said, Democrats like to govern the way they wish things were. Republicans generally tend to govern based on how things actually are.
Yeah. Very true.
I was debating someone today. I was talking with someone. This person, by the way, is an executive with a newspaper company. And it was funny because all of this stuff we were just talking about, just general politics in general, and Trump, and this whole time I'm like, everything they were saying was out and outright falsehoods and lies. None of it was true. They insisted that Trump stole the election in 2016, even though it's been wholly disproven. They tried to say that the economy was good because it was on the backs of Obama's policies. But I'm like, I'm sorry, Obama was the one who said that 2% economic growth was the new normal. Anyway.
The slowing down of inflation, he called economic growth. Don't forget. So,
by the way, we have Keith Carey commenting over at OpsLens, saying Biden was elected by voter fraud in the first place. Sonny Boy is a felon and he's still running around with no worries. Yes, that's because there are two tiers of justice. And I love, by the way, Democrats are out there saying, well, if you think, Jake Tapper said, well, if you think there's a two-tier justice system, you need to talk to poor people because they're definitely on the short end of the stick. And I said, yeah, I agree, because Democrats are all about economic and academic elites. They don't care about anybody else. They don't care about working man. They don't care about the working man. They don't care about Republicans. All they care about is them and their liberal friends, and make sure their liberal friends get to live by a certain set of rules, and we don't have to.
They care about you in their political and re-election speeches, because that's when they go after the minorities and say, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that, we want you to vote for us. And that's how Donald Trump won the 2016 election, because he went out and spoke to the minorities and said, hey, they've been lying to you for 50 years. Why not give me a shot and see if I can do it? And guess what he did? Historic changes in employment and jobs and education for minorities. Historic, more so than even President Obama.
It is hilarious that you say that, because that is actually exactly what I pointed out to this person. And once again, truth really didn't matter. And that's kind of frustrating when it's like, look, all I'm doing is sharing with you facts, truth, and data. I can send you. There are very few. I can't think of many things that I've ever come out and said that I could not go onto my computer and pull up a link for and send it to somebody in order to back up my point. Because, I realize that, we have to be on it. We have to pay attention. Yeah. We have to justify the things that we say, right? Democrats just get away with saying whatever.
Yep, absolutely right.
All right. Moving on. Okay, you're going to love this one. Now, this is in the UK. So let me just throw that one out there first. So this is not in the United States, but I could totally see this happening here in the United States. A school teacher in the UK referred to her student as despicable after challenging a peer who identifies as a cat, a female student who identifies as a cat. Listen into the, and I don't know who recorded this, but listen into the conversation and what took place.
How dare you? You've just really upset someone. Saying things like should be in an asylum.
I didn't say that. I just said if they want to identify as a cat or something, then they're like genuinely unwell.
Then they've gone.
Yeah, they're crazy.
You were questioning their identity.
I wasn't a question. I was just saying about the gender. I didn't say anything about them.
But where did you get this idea from that there's only two genders?
I just think it's my opinion.
That is my opinion.
If I respect their opinion, can't they respect my opinion?
It is not an opinion.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
but
It's not an opinion you
There's
can
only
have.
Yes, loads of people think there's only two genders.
There's only a boy and a girl.
Literally. There's
Female,
no other
male.
private part. There's only two.
Gender is not linked to do with
There is
the
only two
parts that
genders.
you were born with. Gender is about how you identify, which is what I said right from the very beginning of
Yeah,
the
no, I just don't
lesson.
agree with that. So why should I have to listen to something I don't agree with?
Biological sex, there is actually three biological sexes, because you can be born intersex. You can be born with male and female body parts or hormones.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, there's three. There's not 300.
Doesn't mean.
Yeah, there's three. I'm talking about biological sex. In terms of gender, there are lots of genders.
Well, I just
There is
don't agree with
transgender,
that.
there is agender, people
Yeah,
that
but
don't
there is
believe
that.
they have a gender at all.
Yeah, but you can't have that.
No, you can't have that. It's not a law.
Yeah, but
It's not a law, but it's our opinion. We just don't agree with it. We just think it's all just.
if you have a vagina, you're a girl. If you have a penis, you're a boy. That's
Yeah.
it.
But cisgender is not necessarily the way to be. You were talking about the fact that cisgender is the norm. That you identify with the gender, with the sexual order that you're born with,
Yeah.
or you're with. That's
Yeah.
basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
Which is really despicable.
How? When it's.
If I
literally
called
true.
my mum right now, my mum would
Same.
be on my side.
If I called my mum, she'd say.
Well, that's very sad as well.
Now, this is a trip. So this 13-year-old girl was called despicable by her teacher at a Church of England school. Church of England school in the United Kingdom on Friday after asking a classmate how she identifies as a cat. I'll skip down a little bit further because the rest of it you heard. It says the teacher told the students they were being reported to school administrators and would no longer be welcome at the school if they continued to express the view that only boys and girls exist, according to a recorded exchange. Mike, can I say wow?
Listen, I don't have to do any research on this to know that this is some teacher with a liberal arts degree, or she's got an art history degree or something along those lines, and she ends up teaching and spewing this ridiculousness. Being a teacher, being a professor, being an instructor, we know has got a flood of these idiots. It's just kind of like get a nothing degree, and it's the only place they can end up is teaching because they can't do. So what do? They teach. And there's plenty of great teachers and professors out there that have to deal with the idiocy coming out there. I guarantee you all of the other instructors, professors, teachers there at there's this Rye College in Sussex are shaking their heads going, great. Now this is what we're known for. Thanks a lot, you idiot.
Well, but you do realize that, and there are many cases, and once again, they're mostly in blue states, in blue communities with blue districts. When I say blue, I mean Democrat controlled, where this sort of attitude is prevalent. It's being pushed and it's being expressed. Even though when I say prevalent, it's not the majority. It just happens to be those who are in power.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And they're the ones that hire and allow these idiots to exist in our education system. Yeah.
Right. And then, by the way, the argument that I was having, the discussion that I was having with this person, they completely agree with me with us on this issue, right? But when I said, well, then why don't you say something? Why don't you, within your sphere of influence, within the media or within the Democratic Party, say something about it? I said, the problem is that you say nothing. And so they think you agree. Now, are you scared? Is that what it is? Are you terrified that they're going to say or do something? Well, you know what? Then maybe you're in the wrong party. Maybe instead of being
That's it.
so
Well, they're-
angry and scared of Trump and suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, maybe you take a look at a party that, quite frankly, it closer represents your values than the Democratic. Because I'm like, the Democratic Party doesn't represent many people's values anymore. And that's not to say that they never did, although in many cases I believe it didn't. It means that the Democratic Party has gone so whacked out left Marxist socialist. And once again, if you doubt that description, look at the terms and terminology and tools that are used by critical race theory, that are used by queer theory, gender, modern feminist theory, and look at it, and goes all the way back to postmodernism, postmodernism, and then neo-Marxism.
No, it's people afraid to stand up to their own party. They don't want to be shunned by their own party. Or Craig, like you know this. We have plenty of people out there that they're Democrats simply because their parents were Democrats and the parents before them were Democrats, and they have to maintain a Democrat, even though they might be agreeing on 90% of Republican issues. My mother was one of them. She grew up as a hippie kid in the 60s in New York, and she was a Democrat, but she voted every possible Republican way you could think of.
Right. No, I hear you. And I wish once again that people would take the time to actually look at their values and vote their values. That's all I ask. If you just took the time and vote your values, I guarantee you more people would be voting Republican than currently vote Republican. That's right. It's not a hard one. It's not a hard one to figure out. And I just realized I skipped one story, so I want to go back to it real quick. This is a question that was raised at NBC News. And the question basically was, can license plate data be used to, enforce or be used against women who seek abortion? And here, you read here, it says, Illinois Secretary of State Alex Giannopoulos is backing what he says is the first in the nation's bill to allow sharing or selling of license plate data for women seeking abortions. He fears that this data could be weaponized as some states try to criminalize helping someone get an abortion. Now, Mike, the funny part about this is we know the governments are already doing this when it comes to guns. We know that I'll give you an example. So in Reno, Nevada, and Carson City, which are both the two towns that are here in Northern California that are like driving distance from the California border. We know that the California DOJ, if there's a gun show in Reno or Carson City, or they'll go peruse the gun stores, that they will go and they will get the license plate data information from the people in the parking lot. And if they see any California plates, that will alert them to stop that car when they go through the border, when they go across the border back over into California.
First off, Craig, I love how you just make up name pronunciations. You're like the whitest person I know when it comes to that.
I know I pronounced Giannopoulos.
You said Giannopoulos.
I know I did. I know I added a P. I just added a P, just all up in there. I just threw a P all up in there. You know what,
just go with it,
dude? Hey, y'all should have easier to pronounce names. I'm just saying.
There you go. Yeah. Listen, they do this. I've said before that when it comes to guns, when it comes to many other things, that I believe these plate readers are an invasion of privacy. Whether they're targeting them or they're just going down the street reading plates, looking for things, you have a certain expectation of privacy, and they shouldn't be able to go and pull up your history, your driver's license status, unless you've committed some sort of civil offense, a traffic infraction or something. But they use these plate readers as if it's probable cause to just look up anybody's information. And it's akin to the police walking up to you on the street and saying, give me your driver's license. But that's not allowed because they have no probable cause to detain you. Yet, if I read your license plate and then run your driver's license, that's evidently okay.
Right. And then use that as a reason to detain or search you.
Yep. Absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah. No. That ain't gonna work. I don't see that working.
There's no probable cause to just scan somebody's plate as they're just minding their own business wherever they are, and then use that information you get to try and formulate another crime.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, is unconstitutional. It's a violation of the Fourth Amendment right to privacy.
That is exactly what they are attempting to do, and we are having none of it. And on that, we're going to move on to our parting shots brought to you by Hog Holsters. Go to hogholsters.com, get your Hog Holster by using that discount code, The Rundown, all caps, no spaces. Get your Hog Holster today. Now, Mike, you may not be aware of this. Well, actually, you would be aware of this because you're the one who sent me the video, that there appear to be some anti-gun Democrats or people in entertainment who might be reconsidering their position on firearms. Check it out.
Yep.
I'm not big anti-gun, but I just think there should be some regulations just in case. Like the same way I can't drive a NASCAR down the street, I shouldn't be able to have a machine gun in my house across the street from the school, okay? That's simple, right? So I go to this thing, and it's me and a bunch of celebrities, and we speak out against guns. And then I come home, and I check out my website. And I look at my website, and there's all these threats on there. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to put one in your head. I'll slit your throat. Don't you dare come between me and my weapon. And I realized, oh, my God, I need a gun.
Yes, that is kind of funny, but I'm like, why can't I drive a NASCAR? Is it? I can drive a NASCAR down the street. There's no law preventing me from doing that.
Well, your car has to be street legal, and NASCAR doesn't have, horns, headlights, that kind of stuff on it. So they're not registered, as well. But if you wanted to drive one on your own property, you could, just like where you could own a machine gun on your own property if you wanted to.
In certain states.
Yes. Federally legal everywhere.
Yes.
A couple of states that not legal. Class 3 firearms are not legal. Yes.
Yes. You got to get one of them special permits.
Yep,
anyway.
Yep.
I thought that was hilarious. Thank you, Mike, so much for sharing. This next one. Now, where did I put it? Okay, this next one. As you know, we just celebrated Juneteenth. And like I said before, I think we often
not in Florida, by the way.
Huh?
Not in Florida, by the way. They didn't sign on to it, so.
Well, but
we got to work.
Here's the reason why I believe every Republican should celebrate Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth, the day Republicans ended slavery.
That's right. I know
y'all don't want to believe that, but yes, it was the Republicans. It was not the Democrats. No, your Democrat friends did not do it. They were not the ones who ended slavery. Too bad. So sad. Bye-bye.
Sorry about your luck.
Bye-bye. Bye now. See you later. Okay. And that, my friends, is going to do it for today's show, with the exception of, well, we got to do our shout outs to our sponsors. So, Mike, you want to do us the honors?
That's right. Let's do it. Hitmanindustries.net, hitmanindustries.net. You can get rifle and pistol caliber barrels at any length. Soon to come, Glock barrels. Check out hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting the good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's Future Today if you become a member. Or if you make I already
become a part of California's Future Today. Join CRA.
There you go. Become a part of California's Future Today. Join the CRA. Pay special attention to the California 6th congressional race. And of course, you want some awesome field gear, going to the woods gear, hiking gear, whatever it might be. Check out our friends at uscombatgear.com.
Folks, once again, I want to thank Mike because he brings up the 6th Congressional District every single time. As you may know or you may not know, I am running for Congress. I am running for Congress in California 6th Congressional District. I want to encourage you to support my candidacy, support my campaign. As I was trying to pull up the campaign website so you could see it, for some reason, it just doesn't seem to want to come up right now. Cognizant dissonance. I guess. Anyway,
too many people on there at once making donations.
Too many people on there at once. Look, any amount that you can do would be greatly helpful. Please donate and encourage your friends to donate as well. And on that note, we're going to call it a day. We thank you for tuning in. We thank you for liking and sharing the program. We will be back tomorrow on Throat Punch Thursday. Holla at you later.